So some of you asked me to comment on this case. This happened in Malaysia, in Klang, where a hospital had detained a baby's body for, I think, 2 weeks, like 14 or 16 days, according to some sources. So they detained the baby in the mortuary, like they put the baby in the cold storage, until the parents paid the bill. So it went viral because people were very upset that a dead body was treated in this way. So let's see what the hospital said. So this hospital in Klang claimed that the patient, so the birthing woman came, was about to give birth when she arrived at the hospital, and she was unbooked and unscreened. That means she didn't have any prenatal checkups before coming to the hospital to give birth. And then they said that the baby had Cyclops syndrome with one eye, absent nose, and anus. And the husband was not present. So here they're using the word husband in quotation marks because they kind of, I don't know, casting aspersions that he's not married, and that's a problem in addition to not having had any prenatal appointments. So the baby was born alive, and that's why the doctor told the husband to azan. So to give like the call to prayer, that's usually done when the baby is born. And then routine injections. So I guess here vaccinations was given to the baby and was planned for referral. So it sounds like the hospital assumed the baby was going to live at least for some period of time, because why would you give vaccinations if you don't think the baby's going to live, right? If the baby has a fatal condition, the priority should be just to give the baby to the mother and let the parents spend time with the baby until it passes away. So then the last paragraph, the hospital is saying that, it's again like casting aspersions on the mother by saying she was treated well, she was mingling with the ward staff, she was given free meals, even though this is pretty much the standard procedure in a hospital. And even if she was able to stand up and, mingle with the staff, right, she did just give birth. So I don't think it has anything to do with like her personal character. Okay, then, right. So citizens in Malaysia are quite upset about how the baby was treated. Because it's normally in like Islamic tradition, it's highly encouraged to bury a dead body within 24 hours. So in this case, being kept in a mortuary, cold storage for 2 weeks, that's for no reason other than not paying the bills. That's quite it's quite sad. So here, one comment. This is a lesson to other healthcare facilities too. There should be a department of counseling for emergency cases. The hospital director should go to the emergency department to talk to the patient. So in this case, there is a jasad or a deceased who has not done anything wrong and has become the victim. And plus they are Muslim. Another comment by Putri Cinderella. You can detain the mother because she has not paid the bills, but you should not detain the baby that has already passed. Whether they are married or not, or did not had checkups or not, this has nothing to do with the hospital. And rest in peace, child of heaven. And then here, DJ You Cool says, look at the Facebook of Mr. Wan Chai. So Mr. Wan Chai has a casket company, Islamic casket company. So he said that he has seen the the marriage certificate of the parents, and those parents are married, and the hospital is manipulating by saying that they're not married, and so on and so forth. And they are asking for the payment, but the Indian woman at the counter, I guess the reception, did not allow them to request for further payment. I don't know, something like that. Um, so I did take a look at this Mr. Wan Chai's Facebook, and he has a lot of cases where deceased bodies are being held until the family of the deceased has settled the hospital bills. So they're very upset. People are very upset about that. But anyway, let's look back to what is cyclopia. So this baby was born with a congenital defect. This is a picture because if I try to search on Google, most of the pictures are censored. I think they can look quite upsetting, but this is an example of what a baby with cyclopia can look like. So it's a congenital defect where the midline doesn't form properly. So when fetuses are formed, they are formed from the center outwards. So there's one of everything and it divides into two. So in this case, the division did not happen properly. So there's only one of everything. And then because your nose and the anus is also on the midline, this is considered like a midline defect. So they are not expected to live very long. So it's rare but lethal anomaly. You see the eyes are not divided into two cavities. So usually the babies don't survive during the pregnancy, or if they are born, they're stillborn, or if they are born alive, they die shortly after birth. So the baby in this case from this hospital was born alive. That's why the father was told to give azan to the baby. So you wouldn't do it if they wouldn't ask the parent to do it if the baby was stillborn or born dead. So this was a case in Iran, and the newborn passed about 13 hours after birth. Okay, so we see here that cyclopia can be diagnosed using ultrasound during the pregnancy itself. So probably maybe 20 weeks when they do like the fetal anomaly scan. It's a very comprehensive long scan that is given to check like every part of the anatomy. So probably they would be able to see this. So here the paper concludes that early diagnosis during pregnancy using diagnostic methods and proper management of this abnormality should be emphasized to prevent further harm to the newborn and the mother with this syndrome. So in this case, when I read this proper management of this abnormality, I think it means abortion or termination of the pregnancy, because there's nothing you can do. Like the fetus is already formed in that with that defect. You can't give any medication or treatment. So the only options are to carry the baby to term, or terminate it before, so have an abortion. So in this case, it says that many of these newborns should be offered early neonatal palliative care. So that means they should probably just be made comfortable since they're going to pass, in this case, about 13 hours after birth. So ideally, you would let the parents spend time with the baby. Maybe they can bring the baby home or just stay in the hospital. Make sure the baby's comfortable until it passes. So there was one comment as well by Nurul Hidayah on Facebook. She said, in Malay, even though the chaotic procedure of this hospital, despite the procedure of freezing the deceased baby along with its diapers, there's only one thing that I respect about this. Their procedure of cocok menyocok, referring to vaccination. The vaccination procedure remains smooth, even though a baby with cyclopia syndrome is only expected to live about 12 hours. So I did notice that as well, because the baby was born alive. The father was told to azan, and despite the baby being able to live about 12 hours, the routine vaccination was given, and then the baby became blue, and then the baby expired about 30 minutes later. So yeah, I think you can deduce something from that. I'm not gonna say anything. So clearly this person is being sarcastic. Um, yeah, so let me know what you think. I feel cases in this case, there's a lot of I do see, okay, blaming of the mother because she didn't have any checkups. Even though if she had checkups, she could still have chosen to carry the baby to term. So, and of course, there's lots of people who don't have checkups because of financial reasons, because of other reasons. And yeah, like you guys, let me know what you think.